There comes a time in every soul's journey when silence feels louder than thunder. When the world moves on as if you never existed, and you sit in the stillness wondering if heaven has misplaced your name. The air grows heavy with questions and your heart aches for a whisper of remembrance. But hear me, chosen one, you are not forgotten. You are hidden. Hidden not in neglect, but in divine protection. Hidden not in rejection, but in preparation. For what God is building in the quiet cannot be revealed in the noise of the crowd. You are not lost. You are being shaped for greatness. I know what it feels like to look around and see everyone else stepping into their promises while you still wait in the shadows. You clap for others, you cheer for them. Yet when the lights dim and the applause fades, you wonder when your moment will come. But beloved, your moment is not late. It is sacredly timed. God has wrapped you in His timing like a seed buried in the earth. You see darkness, but He sees growth. You feel confined, but He feels excitement. Because He knows what's being formed inside of you cannot bloom prematurely. If you were revealed too early, the winds of envy and the storms of pride would destroy what's not yet rooted. So He hides you. Not to harm you, but to strengthen your foundation, to teach your soul the art of patience, and to stretch your faith beyond what your eyes can see. The hidden season is holy. It is not punishment, it is purpose disguised as delay. While others see absence, heaven sees refinement. Every tear you've shed, every lonely night, every unanswered prayer has been gathered in His hands. You have cried thinking God was silent, but He has been speaking through your silence, teaching you endurance, building character, and molding your heart to carry what's coming next. Because greatness cannot sit on fragile shoulders. It must be carried by those who know what it means to walk through the fire and not faint, to be overlooked and not become bitter, to be wounded and still choose love. You, my dear, are being forged in the secret places, and when the appointed time comes, your unveiling will not be subtle. It will be divine. Some people look at your life and mistake your quietness for defeat. They think your lack of recognition means you've failed. But what they don't know is that God often hides His most powerful weapons. He doesn't expose His soldiers before the battle begins. He keeps them out of sight, polishing their spirit, training their heart, filling their hands with wisdom and their mouth with fire. You are that soldier. You've been in training all this time. Every heartbreak, every disappointment, every delay, it was divine training. You were being taught how to depend not on applause but on anointing. How to move not by sight but by faith. How to trust not in the presence of miracles, but in the assurance of the one who performs them. When God hides you, it's because He's setting the stage for something greater. He's aligning people, places, and opportunities that will meet you right where destiny demands. You may not see it, but heaven is moving behind the curtain. While you wait, angels are working. While you cry, God is calculating. While you question, He's confirming every detail of your purpose. Don't mistake stillness for stagnation. The seed doesn't shout while it's growing. It simply trusts the soil. And so must you. You must trust that where you are now is not where you'll remain. You must trust that the same God who began your story has no intention of leaving your chapter unfinished. There's a reason you feel different. There's a reason you don't fit in. You've tried to belong in circles that your spirit has outgrown. You've tried to explain your calling to people who can't comprehend the language of your destiny. You are not meant to blend in. You are meant to stand apart. The rejection you faced was redirection. The people who walked away weren't your loss. They were your lesson. God removed them because they couldn't go where you're headed. The higher He takes you, the fewer people can breathe your air. The atmosphere of your next level demands purity, humility, and courage. That's why the isolation hurts. Because He's cutting away every voice that could contaminate your confidence, every distraction that could derail your focus, every influence that could dilute your faith. You've asked, why me? You've cried, how much longer? And heaven's answer has been, until the work is done. Because purpose has its own timing. The waiting season doesn't waste you, it refines you. Every moment of silence is God chiseling the edges of your character, softening your pride, deepening your compassion, and building your spiritual stamina. What you thought was delay has been divine editing. He's removing the unnecessary scenes so your story can read with clarity and power. And when it's time for your debut, you won't need to announce yourself. Your anointing will do the speaking. The same people who ignored your potential will witness your rising. The same doors that were closed will swing open by command. Because when God hides, he also reveals. But his revelation is never random, it's royal. Do you know why your journey feels heavy? Because the crown you are destined to wear is not made of plastic, it's forged from pressure. The weight you carry now is training your shoulders for glory. You have been misunderstood because you see beyond what others can perceive. You have felt alone because your spirit lives in realms not everyone dares to enter. You've been labeled as too much because your soul refuses to settle for mediocrity. But that's what happens when you're chosen. You don't fit into boxes because you were made to build new ones. You don't walk familiar paths because you were born to carve new ones. Your difference is divine, your solitude is sacred, and your delay is divine orchestration. Let the world rush, but you be still. Let them chase visibility, but you chase vision. Because the day will come when everything hidden within you will break forth like light at dawn. The ideas, the gifts, the voice, the strength, the grace, all of it will emerge in its appointed time. And when it does, people will call it sudden. But there is nothing sudden about divine timing. You've been in preparation for years, in secret, learning, growing, stretching, breaking, healing. You've been growing in wisdom the way mountains grow, slowly, silently, but with unshakable strength. There will be days when doubt knocks on your heart and tries to whisper that you've been forgotten. When that happens, remember this: gold is never displayed while it's still in the fire. It must stay there until it glows pure. You are gold, my dear, and God is refining you until you shine without blemish. You think he's distant, but he's closer than breath. You think he's silent, but his silence is strategy. He's not ignoring you. He's insulating you. Because there are wolves out there that would devour your gift if you were revealed too soon. So he hides you under his wings, lets you grow in secret. And when your spirit is mature enough to withstand both praise and persecution, he will release you into the world. Not as a wounded survivor, but as a walking miracle. You see, greatness is not found in crowds, it is discovered in caves. David was anointed king, but he was hidden among sheep before he was crowned. Joseph was destined for leadership, but he was hidden in a prison before he was revealed in a palace. Moses was chosen to deliver a nation, but he was hidden in the desert before he stood before Pharaoh. Jesus himself lived 30 years in obscurity before his 3 years of ministry changed eternity. So if you feel unseen, take comfort. You are in divine company. God hides his greatest before he reveals them, because exposure without preparation leads to destruction. You've been wondering why the doors haven't opened yet. It's because some doors lead to rooms that aren't ready for you. You've been praying for recognition, but God is giving you revelation. You've been asking for promotion, but he's giving you perspective. Because when you finally walk into your purpose, he wants you to walk with power, not insecurity. He wants you to know who you are before others tell you who they think you are. You are his masterpiece, not forgotten, not forsaken, not overlooked. You are intentionally, divinely, and gloriously hidden. Every time you've been counted out, heaven has been counting you in. Every no you've heard has been a shield from something that could have destroyed your destiny. Every delay has been a detour that protected your anointing. God's fingerprints are all over your journey, even in the places where you thought he left you. And when you look back, you'll realize that what you thought was the end was actually the beginning. You'll see that every silent season was a sacred setup, every loss was a hidden lesson, and every heartbreak was the breaking open of your greater purpose. So rise up, chosen one, wipe your tears and lift your chin. You are not behind, you are being built. You are not unseen, you are being safeguarded. You are not forgotten, you are being refined. Let your faith speak louder than your fear. Let your patience carry you through the waiting. Let your praise echo even in the absence of proof. Because when the appointed hour strikes, when heaven opens its curtain and God calls your name, everything will shift. The favor that follows you will astonish those who doubted you. The opportunities will overflow. The joy will return tenfold. And you will understand every silent season was worth it. You are hidden for greatness. You are not invisible. You are invincible in God's hands. What is yours will not pass you by. The blessings that have your name on them will find you. The purpose you were born for will unfold. And when you will rise with wisdom, with humility, and with unshakable grace. The world may have forgotten, but heaven has not. You are written in the palm of His hand, engraved in His plan, protected in His promise. So hold on, keep walking, keep believing. Because soon, very soon, what was hidden will be revealed, and what was overlooked will be celebrated. You will stand in the fullness of your destiny and declare, "It was worth the wait." And when that day comes, don't forget to tell your story. Tell them about the nights you cried and still prayed. Tell them about the seasons of silence that grew your faith. Tell them how it felt to be hidden, and yet held by the hands of a faithful God. Tell them how you almost gave up, but something divine whispered, "Not yet." Because your story is not just yours. It's a map for someone else still waiting in the dark. Someone who feels forgotten will hear your voice and remember that they too are hidden for greatness. So rise with courage. Stand tall in your hiddenness. The world may not see you now, but heaven watches with pride. You are being positioned, prepared, and perfected for something that will outlive you. When the light finally shines upon you, it won't just reveal who you are, it will reveal the glory of the God who never forgot you. Because, chosen one, you were never forgotten, you were hidden. Hidden in grace, hidden in purpose, hidden in the heart of the Almighty, waiting for the perfect moment to emerge, not as who you were, but as who you were always destined to become. And when that moment comes, the world will know, God was never silent, He was sculpting greatness in secret. And that greatness is you, and even as you breathe in this moment, perhaps doubting if the promise still stands, let your spirit remember that divine hiding is not a prison, it is protection. It is the mercy of God that keeps you unseen when the world is not yet ready for your light. Because premature revelation is dangerous, it gives birth to bitterness when the soil of recognition cannot sustain your roots. You were never meant to grow among shallow souls. You were meant to bloom in the deep waters of purpose, where storms cannot uproot you. So if you feel like you've been buried, know this. The seed and the buried are both underground, but only one will rise. You, my dear, are not buried to die, but planted to grow. The darkness around you is not your ending, it is your beginning, the sacred soil where destiny takes shape in silence. The Spirit whispers that this season is holy ground. Every unanswered prayer, every door that slammed in your face, every "not yet" from heaven was God steering you away from lesser things that could not contain your glory. Because the truth is, you are too precious to be mishandled, too rare to be wasted, too chosen to be misplaced. The rejection you faced was not a reflection of your worth. It was protection from environments unworthy of your calling. The ones who overlooked you could not perceive your light through their dim vision. And so God cloaked you in invisibility until the moment their words could no longer define you. He hid you not to break you, but to break your dependence on their approval. Because when the time of revealing comes, you will rise without needing validation, without craving recognition, without bending under the weight of others' opinions. You will stand free, whole, and rooted in the certainty of who you are in Him. So let patience do her sacred work. Let her stretch your faith and steady your steps, because the process of greatness cannot be rushed. Even Jesus, the very embodiment of divinity, waited 3 decades before stepping into His mission. 30 years of being hidden among carpenters, of walking among ordinary men, of learning obedience in silence. If the Son of God could embrace hiddenness, who are we to resist it? You are walking the same path of preparation. Your years of quietness are divine rehearsal for a destiny too great to be improvised. Every skill you've sharpened, every dream you've guarded, every pain you've endured has been training for your appointed moment. And when it comes, you will not stumble into it. You will rise into it. You see, the hidden season is not meant to test your talent, but to strengthen your spirit. Anyone can shine when the spotlight is bright, but only the chosen can stay faithful in the dark. That is the mark of true greatness. The ability to keep believing when no one is watching, to keep creating when no one applauds, to keep loving when your heart feels empty. That is the divine curriculum of the chosen, not comfort, but character, not visibility, but virtue. Not fame but faithfulness. You have been learning the sacred art of perseverance, the rare ability to keep your fire burning even when the world goes cold. And oh, how heaven delights in your endurance. Every time you choose to trust instead of tremble, every time you whisper, "Thank you," in the midst of heartbreak, every time you lift your hands in worship while waiting for the miracle, heaven records it as victory. The angels stand in awe of such faith, because faith in the hidden season is the purest form of worship. It is love without proof, devotion without applause, and surrender without clarity. That kind of faith shakes the unseen realm and opens the gates of favor. The moment you stop fighting your hiddenness and start embracing it as holy, everything shifts. Peace begins to bloom where frustration once lived. You start seeing that the same hand that withheld your elevation was the one protecting your essence. Because not every platform is meant for your purpose. Some stages demand compromise, some relationships drain your anointing, and some opportunities would have distracted you from your assignment. God knows this, so He hides you, not because you are unready to be great, but because greatness demands the right timing and the right territory. The eagle doesn't hatch among chickens, it's hidden in the cliffside, where the winds are wild enough to teach it how to fly. And that is what God is doing for you. He's placing you in environments that test your wings before He lets you soar. There will come a day when the same people who doubted you will search for your wisdom. The same places that ignored your presence will echo your name. But by then, you will have grown so deeply in grace that you will no longer seek revenge. You will offer redemption. Because hiddenness does not just prepare your gift, it purifies your heart. It burns away the ego that craves credit and replaces it with a humility that carries heaven's fragrance. When God finally reveals you, you won't need to prove a thing. Your peace will speak louder than your pain ever did. There is a sacred rhythm to divine timing. It moves like the tide, quietly, steadily, always on time. And though you cannot control it, you can trust it. You are not delayed, you are in divine sequence. Every step you've taken, every detour you've walked, every wilderness you've wandered, all of it is woven together with purpose. God is not a God of wasted seasons. Even the pain that broke you had a plan. Even the silence that frightened you had a voice. And even the waiting that wearied you had a reward. You cannot yet see it because He is still painting the picture, and masterpieces are never rushed. So breathe. You are exactly where you need to be. The same God who hid you will one day reveal you. And He will do it in such a way that every piece of your past will make sense. You will see how every heartbreak carved wisdom into your soul, how every lonely night became a sanctuary for prayer, how every disappointment redirected you toward destiny. What felt like the end was simply the turning of a page, because your story was never meant to end in obscurity. It was meant to begin there. Greatness always begins in the quiet. And when the moment arrives when heaven finally calls your name, you will rise differently. You will rise not with arrogance but with awe, not with pride but with purpose. You will carry in your eyes the softness of someone who has seen both pain and promise, and survived both with grace. You will move with the authority of someone who knows they were chosen not by popularity but by divine election. You will not rush to speak, because you will have learned the language of silence, the language of those who have wrestled with God and emerged transformed. And the world will wonder how you became so radiant, so wise, so strong. They won't see the years you spent hidden in the cocoon of obscurity. They won't know about the prayers whispered at midnight, the tears wiped away in secret, the faith that refused to die in the drought. But you will know. You will know that every moment was worth it, because it shaped you into a vessel strong enough to carry both greatness and grace. So if you are in your hidden season now, don't despise it. Let it do its holy work. Let it purify your motives and anchor your hope. Let it remind you that obscurity is not the absence of destiny, it's the womb of it. You are being reborn into purpose, and rebirth is never painless, but it is always powerful. Soon you will outgrow the places that once confined you. The soil that once buried you will no longer hold you. You will rise from the ground of your past and stretch toward the sky of your calling. And the world will look upon you radiant and renewed, and they will know. This is what happens when heaven hides someone for greatness. So hold on, chosen one. Keep your hands steady on the plow. Keep your eyes lifted toward the horizon of promise. Keep your heart anchored in faith, because though it tarries, your time will come. And when it does, it will not come as a whisper. It will come as a roar. The very heavens will testify. This one was hidden but never forgotten. And every hidden tear will return as a harvest of joy. Every quiet prayer will echo back as thunderous victory. Every unseen act of faith will shine as proof that waiting was never wasted. For the God who hides also reveals. The God who conceals also crowns. And the same voice that once said, "Be still," will one day thunder, "Now rise." And you will rise, not as the one who waited in vain, but as the one who learned how to trust the unseen hand that never let go. You will rise as the living testimony that hiddenness is not obscurity, but evidence that heaven has been working behind the curtain. You, chosen one, are not forgotten. You are hidden by design, preserved by love, protected by grace, and destined by eternity. So let your soul rest in that truth. Let peace settle in your bones. Let gratitude replace the ache. Because one day soon the doors will open. The light will fall upon you, and the world will see what heaven has known all along. That you were never waiting for greatness. Greatness was waiting for you. And as the days stretch on and the silence deepens, you may feel the ache of invisibility pressing heavier against your chest. You may look at others stepping into their purpose and wonder if heaven misplaced your timing. But I tell you, beloved soul, God has not forgotten a single heartbeat of your waiting. Every sigh, every whisper, every tear has been recorded in eternity's archive. The divine does not lose track of his chosen. He orchestrates their rising with precision beyond human understanding. While you think you are being delayed, heaven is simply arranging a stage worthy of your unveiling. Because true greatness is never revealed on unstable ground. It stands only where foundations have been tested by fire. You might not yet see the purpose of the pain, but one day you will thank it for what it built in you. The silence taught you to hear his still small voice. The loneliness carved a deeper space for his presence. The rejections, the closed doors, the detours, all were instruments of divine direction. For if he had allowed every opportunity you wanted, you would have settled in comfort instead of destiny. You would have mistaken popularity for purpose. But he loved you too deeply to let you live small. So he stripped away every false support, so that when you finally stand in your place of promise, you will know your strength comes not from the crowd, but from the Creator who walked beside you through the shadows. And oh, how sacred are those shadows! They hold secrets only the hidden ones can understand. The shadow is where you learn to walk by faith and not by sight. It is where your soul becomes intimate with the sound of God's footsteps. When others rush ahead chasing recognition, you learn the holiness of stillness. You learn that greatness is not in being seen, but in being sent. That visibility without divine authority is vanity, and influence without intimacy with God is emptiness disguised as success. You begin to understand that what the world calls obscurity is often heaven's greatest compliment, because God hides only what he values. If he has hidden you, it's because you are rare, and rare things are never found in plain sight. Diamonds do not lie scattered on sidewalks. They are buried deep within the earth. Pearls are not found floating on waves, they are formed within struggle. Gold is not displayed while it's still in ore, it is purified in the furnace. You are all of these, diamond, pearl, gold. You are heaven's treasure undergoing transformation. So don't despise your hiddenness. Don't curse the cocoon while God is crafting your wings. For the butterfly doesn't fight the darkness of its chrysalis. It surrenders to the process because it trusts the outcome. This is the quiet work of divine preparation. God does not rush masterpieces. He takes his time because what he is building in you must outlast storms. He is anchoring your identity in his truth so that when applause comes, it will not corrupt you. When power comes, it will not intoxicate you. When influence comes, it will not distract you. You are not waiting idly. You are being fortified. Your character is being tempered, your discernment sharpened, your compassion deepened. You are learning to love without condition, to give without recognition, to stand without fear. You are learning that silence is not absence, that isolation is not punishment, that waiting is not wasting. You are learning that God hides his promises the same way he hides seeds, not to bury them but to grow them. There will be moments when you grow weary of the soil, when your patience feels thin and your faith feels tired, You will want to break free, to dig yourself out of the ground where no one seems to notice you. But remember this: seeds that push out before their season are destroyed by the sun. The soil is not your enemy, it is your sanctuary. Stay there until the rain comes. Stay there until the roots have drunk deep of the living water. Stay there until the roots can hold the weight of the fruit. For what's being prepared for you requires depth. Your destiny will demand more than shallow soil can sustain. Sometimes God hides you not from people, but for people. There are lives waiting on your obedience. There are hearts that will heal because you said yes to your process. There are generations that will rise because you refuse to quit in the quiet season. Your hiddenness is not just about you. It's about what will be birthed through you. When you emerge, you will carry answers to prayers others have been crying for. Your breakthrough will become their blueprint. Your testimony will become their map out of despair. This is why the enemy fights you so fiercely in your hidden season, because he knows that when you rise, you won't rise alone. You will carry nations in your shadow. You will carry deliverance in your voice. You will carry freedom in your scars. The scars you hide now will one day shine as symbols of victory. They will no longer sting, they will sing. And the melody will echo this truth: that every tear you cried was watered with purpose, that every pain had meaning, that every loss held hidden gain. Because God wastes nothing. He transforms everything, even the broken pieces of your story, into mosaics of mercy. The parts of your life that seemed shattered will one day be the very places His light shines through the brightest. People will see the glow of your healing and know that it was God who made beauty from your ashes. When that time comes, remember to stay humble. The same humility that kept you in the hidden season must guard your heart in the revealed one. Don't forget the wilderness that taught you how to pray. Don't forget the quiet mornings where you learned the language of trust. Don't forget the nights when your only companion was faith. Those memories are sacred. They are the roots that will keep your branches steady when the winds of success blow strong. For the higher God raises you, the deeper you must stay grounded. Let the soil of gratitude always anchor your soul. Let remembrance protect your spirit from pride. And even now, while you wait, let worship be your response. Worship not because you have seen the promise, but because you know the promiser. Sing even when you see no reason, because your song becomes the signal that heaven listens for. Praise shifts the atmosphere of your waiting. It turns longing into expectancy, despair into faith, and silence into sacred conversation. When you worship in the hidden place, you declare to the universe that your faith is not dependent on visibility, but on the invisible hand that guides your story. And when the appointed moment arrives, because it will arrive, it will not come as a whisper but as a holy unveiling. Doors will open that no man can close. Paths will appear where walls once stood. The favor of God will chase you, not because you demanded it, but because you endured for it. Those who once overlooked you will not even recognize you, for the glow of grace will have transformed you. They will call you lucky, but you will know it was never luck. It was loyalty to the unseen. It was patience in the process. It was faith that refused to die. You will look back and understand that every delay was divine choreography, that the roads you thought led nowhere were leading you straight into destiny's embrace. You will see how God's hand guided you through every detour, how His mercy shielded you from unseen harm, how His love never left your side. You will see that you were never forgotten, not for a moment. You were hidden in His palm, engraved in His plan, protected in His purpose. And in that revelation, peace will flood your soul. You will finally exhale all the years of striving and realize that the waiting was not wasted time. It was sacred time. The hidden season was where you met God, not as a distant deity, but as a faithful friend. It was where your spirit learned to dance in darkness, to trust without clarity, to love without guarantees. It was where you became unshakable, unbreakable, unmovable. So if you find yourself still in the shadows tonight, don't despair. The shadows are simply evidence of light nearby. Rest in the knowledge that your time is coming, and it will be worth every tear, every test, every trial. The world will see the light of what God has been shaping, and they will marvel. But you will smile, because you will know the truth, that the glory they see was born in the dark, in the holy hiddenness of a soul chosen for greatness. You were never forgotten. You were always known, always loved, always watched over. You were hidden, tenderly, intentionally, perfectly, by a God who saw your end before your beginning and called it beautiful. So hold your head high, chosen one. The world has yet to see what heaven has been perfecting in secret. And when you rise, it will not be as someone who finally found purpose. It will be as purpose itself, walking, breathing, and shining, a living testimony of what happens when God hides someone not to punish them, but to prepare them for greatness beyond imagination. And so, chosen one, when you wake up tomorrow and the air feels thick with the weight of everything you still can't see, I want you to remember this. You are not late. You are not lost. You are not unloved. You are precisely where the divine has hidden you, so that no human hand can distort your design before its time. Every season of quietness has been a holy investment in your becoming. Every tear has been the ink that writes your destiny. Every disappointment, every betrayal, every closed door, every night you fell to your knees asking, "Why me?" was the whisper of heaven saying, "Because you were chosen." You see, being chosen does not mean being celebrated right away. It means being cultivated, refined, reshaped until the gold of your soul gleams brighter than before. And yes, it hurts. Growth always does. But that pain you carry is not punishment, it's preparation. It is the sacred heat that molds you into someone who can carry the weight of greatness without breaking under it. Do not envy those who seem to rise quickly, for what is built overnight can fall by morning. You are not building for a season. You are being prepared for eternity. The light you carry is not meant for a fleeting moment of applause. It's meant to ignite generations. So if you must walk alone, walk proud. If you must wait longer than you hoped, wait with grace. Because what God is building in you requires time, care, and divine timing. You will not bloom in every garden, chosen one. You are a rare flower, and rare things grow differently. While others are sprouting in the sun, you are growing in the silence of soil. Unseen, uncelebrated, yet undeniably alive. And when that moment comes, when God decides the world is finally ready